Welcome to today's episode of Map It. This is Make It Plain with Tracy, your favorite weekly podcast. Have you ever wondered why 24 hours in a day seems too small for some people? While to some other people, it's like the day was so long. I slept, I woke up, I did this, I did that, I did so much, and it was still like 1 p.m. or just 4 p.m. Like the day was so slow. So now it just depends on how we use our time. Everyone has got 24 hours and everyone has got priorities. Everyone has got things to achieve, goals and the likes, but then it's totally up to you what you do with your time. So join me on today's podcast, right, to talk about a very sensitive topic called prioritization. Prioritization is taken from the word prioritize. Prioritize basically is about putting first things first, layering. What do you consider most important? You bring it to the top. Next most important, it follows, and you keep building. And then it's up to you to decide what's most important to you and what's less important to you. Very simple example, you're preparing for an exam, and then your very fantastic bestie of life gives you a call, and that's the day she's probably off work and you guys haven't seen for such a long time, and she decides to pay you a visit. But hey, you miss her, you miss you guys out in time and all of that, but you got something important to prepare for. So what would you choose? So that's just a very good example of, something that poses the question to you to say, what is urgent? What is important? Urgent versus important is one scale. Okay, when I talk about balance system, that's one skill we need to face and tell ourselves daily. Every activity that comes up, you put it on the scale of urgency versus importance, and then tell yourself your truths. That helps you know how to put the first things first and bring things that are of lesser importance down to the bottom, and that way you see that your 24 hours in a day is long enough to take all the key things or priorities that you need to focus on. All right, so how do we prioritize rightly or effectively? Number one, like I said, it's checking urgency versus importance. Very important. It can be overemphasized. For example, I'm here now doing this podcast to share with you for our benefits, for our learnings, our growth, and our continuous improvement. And in the course of this, my phone is there buzzing. I can stop right now and say, hey, I got to take that phone call, but hey, is it important or is simply urgent? Because it creates that sense of pick me now. That's just an example, but hey, it's a true picture of urgent versus important. Another thing is there are many examples I could share, and I want you to also think and reflect as we converse around your space. What do you consider urgent? What are the things you consider important? Okay, having a daily exercise schedule, lifestyle, eating right, having the right diet, that's important for our livelihood, our health, and all that. But because it doesn't look urgent, it's not in my face, I must do this, so you might easily undermine it. But then that's important to have a healthy routine, healthy lifestyle. Okay, so that's another example. But so it's important that we pick urgent versus important, put it on that scale. Every activity, whatever we do, make sure it's important, not just urgent. Sometimes emails hit your email box, and then so many emails, but some are just crying urgent, but what's the impact? So urgency versus importance is that scale you should carry along, okay, as you go over your activities. Another thing is being able to say no. I'm being invited for a dinner. I've had a long day, church, a couple of things, a Sunday or a work day, just want to rest. But then there's this very fantastic invitation you got from somebody really fantastic again, and it's happening in a really fantastic location or restaurant in town, and really fantastic artists. See how I'm making it sound really beautiful. But then you have to catch your sleep to help prepare you for the following day, where you have work to do or things deliverables. So you throw it on the scale of urgency, importance, and then which will you choose. So that's up to you. But so prioritization is one tool that we all need to help us balance urgency versus importance, okay, and help us utilize our 24 hours a day adequately and effectively. So I'll stop here, and I hope this was useful. But it's important that you know that things don't happen by accident or by magic. Why my 24 hours seems to be very, very efficient is because I choose to prioritize things that are high impacting, things that have long-term importance. I might do just one thing or two things in a day, but those two things I do, trust me, it has high benefits, high importance, high results, or better results, than to do so many things that have no value, maybe just for immediate gratification. So it's important that you take prioritization as a tool, throw it into your handbag, and as you go along your day's activities, the rest of your week's activities, know that prioritization is important. Know when to say no thank you, great meal, but I'm fasting or I'm on a diet. Okay, know when to postpone or reschedule certain activities. You will do them, but maybe just not now. Okay, so thank you, and until next week, I remain Tracy, your host. Make it plain with Tracy. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share and comment. What do you think of this topic and this conversation? I can't wait to read from you. Thank you.